What's up, y'all? Hip Hop Fanatic back with another video. Sorry this is taking me so long. As y'all know, I'm doing Ice Cube next. Bro, I forgot how much music Ice Cube has, bro. I'm okay. I know he has like his solo stuff, and he has like 10 albums, solo albums. He got one with NWA, right? He was only in one. He was in the first one. And then I forgot about West Side Connection, so I had to listen to West Side Connection. They got two albums. And then I recently just forgot he was in the Lynch Mob. So I gotta listen to those two too. So this video is gonna take a long time, bro. It's not to come out because two albums ain't nothing. I'm almost finished. I swear I'm almost finished. And then I'll listen to the two albums. But bro, the video might be super long. I'm gonna tell you that now because Ice Cube got how much to say? Ice Cube got 15 projects. 15, bro. That's a lot of talking and a lot of dissecting and discussing. That's a lot, bro. Y'all know how we categorize. I swear that's not a word. This is how I categorize my albums. Okay, not albums. This is how I put them in sections. We'll say sections because categorize is way too hard to say. Sections. So we go by 6 things, right? Well, I guess it's 5 now. We go by 5 or 6 things. We go by the track list / flow. We go by the bars. We go by the hook / chorus. We go by the production. We go by the features. Sometimes we'll do features, sometimes we won't. Depending on how it is for the artist, we'll do features sometimes. And then we have the intro and the outro. That's what I think makes a good album. So the structure is kind of all over the place, but I would say what the scores are. The scores are out of 60 because there's 6 categories. Depending on the artist, if we take out features, then it'll be out of 50. But you get a total score out of 60, and then it goes from the lowest number to the highest. That's how it goes from worst to best. Then I will also say the most viewed song, and then I go with my favorite song on the album or mixtape. We haven't done mixtapes yet. I do my favorite song on the album. That's usually how it goes. And then I'll talk about why I disliked or why I liked the album in question. All right, y'all, we got a long video to get through, so we're going to try to make this quick and fast as possible. We just going to go through each album and then say the worst, say the score, most popular song, favorite song, and we going to move on from there because this is going to be a long video. All right, with Ice Cube's 10th studio album, Everything's Corrupt, which came out in 2018, is his worst studio album. It was 56 minutes. Jesus Christ. It was 56 minutes long. And it got a 12.5 out of 50. Its most popular song on the album was Good Cop, Bad Cop, which got 48 million views on YouTube. And my favorite song was Ain't Got No Haters featuring Too Short. This was just a bad album all around. I guess it was more modernized, that's cool for Ice Cube, but it's not a good album, man. He stopped rapping after this, by the way. After this album, he stopped rapping, as far as I know. But this is his worst studio album. In the number 14th spot, with his ninth studio album, I Am the West, which came out in 2010, is the next worst album. It was 50 minutes long. It got a total score of 13 out of 50, which is a half point higher than the last. The most popular song on the album was I Rap That West, and it got 5.6 million views on YouTube. I don't have a favorite on this album. I don't have a favorite on a lot of albums. But this one was slightly better in the production and in the hooks and the chorus, but still not a good album. In my opinion, still not a good album. In the 13th spot, with Ice Cube's 7th studio album, Laugh Now, Cry Later, which came out in 2006, is the next worst album. It went gold, and it was an hour and 5 minutes. It got a total score of a 15 out of 50, which is 2 points higher than the last. This album's production was a little bit better, and the hooks and chorus was a little bit better. The most popular song on the album was Go to Church, featuring Snoop Dogg and Lil Jon. It got 16 million views. And this was also my favorite song on the album. Yeah, Ice Cube, I don't know. It's just not, I don't know how to explain why this is so low. He, Ice Cube is a good storyteller, but his bars just aren't like magnificent, even though he wrote them. Out of the average, out of the average of numbers I had, it's not spectacular. It's cool for Ice Cube, but he's always been a good rapper, so I can't really say it's his bars. It's mostly just the intro and the outro was horrible. It was just awful. Didn't like it. Not a good album either. In the 12th spot, with Ice Cube's fourth studio album, Lethal Injection, which came out in 1993, was the next worst album. It went platinum, and it was an hour and 15 minutes. It got a 15.5 out of 50, which I think is a half point higher than the last. Not a good album overall, man. There's a couple good songs on there that has some, good bars, good production, but overall, with the whole album, not a good album. Most popular song was You Know How We Do It, which had 58 million views. And my favorite song on there was Down for Whatever. Down for Whatever was slower. It was a slower beat, which I didn't think he could rap on a slower beat, but he proved me wrong. It was good. It was a good song, in my opinion. It just wasn't enough to not be the worst album. One of the worst. In the 11th spot, with the Lynch Mob's first studio album, one of Ice Cube's many groups, Gorillas in the Mist, which came out in 1992, was the next best album, I guess. It went gold, and it was 42 minutes long. It got a total score of a 16 out of 50. And the most popular song was Gorillas in the Mist, which got 2.5 million views. The production was better on this album, I guess because Ice Cube actually produced it. I don't know. He produced some of the tracks on there. But other than that, overall, it still wasn't a good album. It was better than the ones that we've already talked about, but it just wasn't. It was It wasn't even It was more like it just wasn't good overall. Next, in the 10th spot, with Ice Cube's fifth studio album, War and Peace Volume 1, which I think is the War Tape, is the next best album. It went platinum, and it was an hour and 10 minutes. Now, this album, a lot of the albums are tied up with a lot of other albums, so there's really like no place for them because they're tied up with other albums. But just for sequence purposes, we'll have them going into a sequence of numbers. So this one got a total score of a 16 out of 50, just like Gorillas in the Mist. And the most popular song on this album was Ghetto Vet, which had 12 million views on YouTube. What was better about this album was the track list and the flow and the bars. But other than that, overall, not a good album either. I could be just very hard on these albums. I'm probably just very hard on these albums. I enjoyed listening to it. As far as from my structure, it just wasn't good enough. In the 9th spot, with Ice Cube's sixth studio album, War and Peace Volume 2, which came out in 2000, is next. So we can establish that 2 is definitely better than 1, but only by a little bit. It went gold. It's 56 minutes long, and it got a total score of 17.5 out of 50. And the most popular song is You Can Do It, which had 31 million views. I didn't know I didn't know Ice Cube made like twerk songs. It was that You Can Do It is like a twerk song, or it's like a dance song for the ladies. But I swear it's a twerk song. But it's tracklist and flow was average, and the intro and the outro was actually halfway decent. So it got a pretty neutral score. But other than that, it still wasn't a good album overall. There are a couple tracks that I definitely enjoyed, but other tracks I just didn't at all. We're already at the 10 minute and a half mark, and honestly, we like halfway through, and I don't think this is gonna be a long video now that I think about it because I'm going through it pretty quick. Okay, with Ice Cube's second studio album, Death Certificate, which came out in 1991, is the next best album. It was platinum and it was an hour and 1 minute. It got a total score of 17.5 out of 50, just like War and Peace Volume 2. And the most popular song on this album was No Vaseline, of course. It has 69 million views on YouTube. No Vaseline was a diss track towards NWA, so of course it's the most popular song on the album. And it's the last song on the album, by the way. It's the outro. The hooks and the chorus was awful on this album. The only thing that was good, better than neutral, is the track list and the flow. It flowed until it got to the end. Closer to the end, it got kind of weird, but more in the beginning towards the middle, it flowed nicely. I guess I don't know what happened. I can't speak for Ice Cube. I don't know what happened. Flowed good in the beginning, towards the middle, and then after that was just thrown at thrown at the wall. Whatever. If this list is a shocker to you by now, I'm sorry. I really am. If Ice Cube is your favorite rapper, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, with Ice Cube's first studio album, America's Most Wanted, which came out in 1990, is the next best album. It was platinum and it was 49 minutes. The total score was a 17.5 out of 50, which also ties it with War and Peace and the other album. There's so many albums. The most popular was Who's the Mac, which had 3.2 million views. The track list of the album was great. 8.5 out of 10. Great. It flowed so nicely. But the thing that killed this album was the intro and the outro and the production. I don't know if it was not good enough production because he had just left NWA at this point, or nobody really tried, so to speak. There were some songs that were greatly produced. There was just others that was just like, it's like they just told him to rap over something, like he was a mumble rapper or something. Here, rap over this. This would be great. Rap over this. Nah, this wasn't it, bro. Not a good album overall. On to spot number 6 with Ice Cube's third studio album, The Predator is the next best album, which came out in 1992. It went double platinum and it was 56 minutes long. It got a total score of 19 out of 50. It did not crack the 20 mark. It was close. The most popular song was It Was a Good Day, which has 171 million views. Of course, the song is in GTA. Yeah, of course it's popular. Of course. And it's a good song. I love the beat. I love the beat on It Was a Good Day. I'm probably kind of biased on that because I'm from the hood and I grew up on that song. But I don't care. It's my list. I do what I want. This is my list. Track list, 6.5. Bars, 4.5. Intro and outro, hooks, nah. So I think this album, the hooks, there wasn't a lot of hooks. Back when Ice Cube was rapping, there wasn't a lot of hooks or chorus. He kind of just rapped and then let the beat go. So it got a non-applicable, however you say the word, and I just didn't count it towards the total score. So that might have threw it off a lot. That might have threw off the score a whole lot. But they don't use hooks. I was gonna take hooks off, but other albums have hooks, so I just kept it on there. I think some of the older people are gonna hate me at this point because this list is all over the place. If you listen to Ice Cube growing up, you're probably gonna hate this list. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. It is what it is. So with Ice Cube's eighth studio album, Raw Footage, which came out in 2008, is the next best album. It was an hour and 5 minutes. It cracked the 20 point. It cracked the 20 mark. It has a 21 and a half out of 50, and the most popular song is Hood Mentality, which got 2.9 million views. Tracklist was pretty good, and the intro and outro was pretty good. Other than that, it wasn't that good. You're probably gonna hate me. I understand because I'm destroying this catalog of music from one rapper. Okay, now with West Side Connection's first studio album, Bow Down, which came out in 1996, is the next best album. You were probably like, "Where's West Side Connection?" Chill. They're up. They're more up on the list. Trust me, they are. This album went platinum, and it was 48 minutes long. It also cracked the 20 mark. Well, of course, because it's up there. It's past the last album, which, yeah, it's past the last album. It got a 21 and a half out of 50. Um, the most popular song was The Gangsta, The Killer, and The Dope Dealer, which got 26 million views. Tracklist, awesome. Not awesome, but it was good. What killed this album was the hooks and the chorus, and which is completely understandable because you have uh, Mac 10, WC, Ice Cube. They're all rappers. They're not really gonna outsource for hooks, so to speak. They rather do it in house, which I understand. But they're great rappers, uh, good rappers. According to this list, Ice Cube is a good rapper. Uh, but I do respect West Side Connection and the gangster rap they did. That's why I do like this album. Personally, I do like this album. I do like Bow Down. It's just some things kept it lower than other albums. Okay, with West Side Connection's second studio album, Terrorist Threats, which came out in 2003, is the next best album. It went gold and it was 51 minutes long. It got a total score of 22 out of 50, and the most popular song is Gangsta Nation featuring Nate Dogg, RIP to Nate Dogg, and it got 42 million views on YouTube. Tracklist, good. What brought it above Bow Down was the tracklist. The hooks and the chorus were slightly worse. The hooks and the chorus and the production was slightly worse than Bow Down. But the Terrorist Threats tracklist, because it flowed so well, it brought it slightly above, a half a point above Bow Down. Woo, we in the top two now. We in the top two now. So with the Lynch Mob's second studio album, Planet of the Apes, which came out in 1994, is the second to best album. It was 44 minutes long. It got a total score of 23.5 out of 50, and the most popular song was Cutthroats, which got 46K views. Solid album, to say the least. It was definitely higher in most categories on average. And Ice Cube wasn't in. I think Ice Cube was only in like one or two songs. But we graded the whole album as a whole. No, we graded the songs that Ice Cube were actually in, so that's why it probably brought it a little bit higher than the other albums. But he had decent bars on both albums. I mean, that's probably what brought it higher because he was only in two songs. But he was also only in 2 songs on the other Lynch Mob album, so maybe that's not the case. Maybe he just did better on this one than he did on the last one, and that's why it's the second best album in his whole catalog. And now, with NWA's first studio album, Straight Outta Compton, which came out in 1988, is Ice Cube's best studio album. I did not think it was going to be Straight Outta Compton because he was only in like 6 songs. But the album went triple platinum, and it was an hour long, exactly. And it got a total score of 25.5 out of 50. Like I said, I only graded the parts that Ice Cube was actually in. The most popular song on this album was Straight Outta Compton, of course. I thought it was going to be F the Police, but Straight Outta Compton was a bigger song. And it got 151 million views on YouTube. The bars that Ice Cube brought were the best bars I've ever heard him spit. And all these projects is the best bars I ever heard him spit. Production wasn't good at all. And I'm kind of shocked. Overall, it wasn't good. There were a couple songs that Dr. Dre, he put his foot on. He put his foot down in that one, yeah. But overall, it just wasn't good. Intro was Straight Outta Compton. That's the best way to introduce an album, in my opinion. And it was just better overall. It was good. It's good. Now, I know you're noticing none of these albums cracked 30. I graded this really hard. And with that, that's the end of the video. Woo! That was a lot. 15 albums? That is a lot to barely talk about. Because I barely talked about anything. I usually look through my phone and tell you what songs I like and what songs had better chorus, had better production. But honestly, I needed to record this. And I need to edit this. And I know it's going to be a long edit because I'm looking at the time and it's already at 22 minutes. And it's going to be hard to put this video together. But I'm going to get it together. I'm going to have it done. So with that being said, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. If Ice Cube is your favorite rapper, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Because I spent a long time with Ice Cube. I feel like I know him. I feel like I'm a part of NWA at this point. But I hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you're new. We drop a video every month. We try to drop a video every month. We are going to drop a video every month. Let me speak it into existence. We are going to drop a video every month. I'm going to drop a new video next month in December before the new year. And if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, share with your friends, share it with your classmates, share it with your teachers, your aunties, your grandma, your uncle. And I will see y'all in the next video. Peace. 15% make the whole world.